So a while ago, I saw a article talking about bringing back old weapons from Helldivers 1 to Helldivers 2, and someone as a Destiny player as myself, or used to be, I stopped playing a while ago. I kind of got like PTSD because that's kind of like a big conversation that used to be a thing in Destiny 2, which is like, hey, there's no loot in the game. Let's bring weapons from D1 to D2 to at least spice it up or add more stuff into the game. Personally, I just wanted to see and explore the reasoning for why there may not be a reason why things are brought back from Helldivers 1. Now, for my people who don't know who I am or don't know my history with Helldivers, personally, I came in to Helldivers, the franchise, during Helldivers 2, like probably 95% of the community, and there's more people like me than there's Helldiver 1 vets. Shout out to those boomers for serving the first Galactic War. We appreciate you. But I wasn't there, so I don't know a lot of the weapons that were in that game. I have played it, and I do know that there's like the Commando was in that one. The Scythe, I think, was in that one. Obviously, the Mark 1 Liberator. There is weapons that were from the first game that are kind of like either souped up upgraded versions in the second game, or they do make an appearance, but their appearance is a little bit more in a different manner. And personally, when it comes to me, how I feel personally about the concept of bringing back older weapons or older gear into Helldivers 2 is kind of the same way of how I felt in Destiny 2, which is personally, I don't really care. I would love just more stuff. Now, I know that that may be a little bit different from how a lot of people feel, because when I look at opinions of when it comes to like war bonds, which may be a little bit different due to that being paid content, so people may not agree with me so much when it comes to that, and they would rather it be free. But I do recognize that importing old assets is not as simple as copy and paste, that there is a little bit of game dev that you have to do to import old guns into a new game, basically. For an example, would I want a Mark 1 Liberator that has like the same attachments of an ACOG and a bayonet? Maybe it's a little bit of a higher caliber round, due to usually as modern militaries back in the day, before obviously now I'm about to give you guys a complete history lesson, okay, that I'm not gonna have any like facts for, really. You could just look it up because it is low-key kind of true. So early in from World War 1 to 2, we focused on having, like, at least in America, we focused on having like large caliber rounds, and as we modernized and became like a modern military, we more and more started to go to the smaller cartridges or smaller calibers, like 5.56, instead of being I don't know if it's 30-06, I have no idea, whatever the M1 Grand shoots. Okay, we basically were like going to smaller caliber rounds that could do a lot more damage, I guess, or maybe not. That's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is that it would be cool if they basically made the Liberator Mark 1 like a larger caliber, less ammo, but maybe AP3 kind of variant of a normal Liberator, kind of like an Adjudicator adjacent weapon, but the fire rate and maybe more recoil-esque of a Liberator. I know that a lot of people will say, well, that's just an Adjudicator then, and this is where kind of I come into the point where I think I have I think people will just disagree with me in general when it comes to this, is that I don't mind if a gun comes out and it feels kind of like the same like another gun, as long as it looks different, all right? Or like statistically wise, it's the same as another gun, but it feels and looks different. So a perfect example is, let's say they add an AK-47 Helldivers variant in the game. Now, stats wise, it's a carbon copy of the Tenderizer, or it's a carbon copy of the Adjudicator. But looks wise, it looks like an AK-47, like sci-fi'd up Helldivers-ish. And maybe it is a little different, as in it's a stolen weapon that we got from the automatons that we retrofitted for our use. So it shoots red lasers, and even though it's a laser-based weapon, there is still a reload that you have to do with it at the end. Now, statistically, it's a carbon copy of the Tenderizer Adjudicator. You pick. For the sake of the argument, we'll just say it's a carbon copy of the Tenderizer. But it looks different, it shoots different, and it feels a little different in the way that you fire the gun. I personally don't think there's any problem with that kind of gun in the game. I do not mind side upgrades or horizontal progression. I don't need, personally for me, and there's no hate or negative feelings I'm putting towards the people who do only want vertical power progression. I like just both. You can have vertical and you should have some horizontal, and I don't mind for Helldivers to expand a little bit more into horizontal forms of a gameplay progression, I personally don't mind them bringing back old guns that would probably fill a lot of the niches that are already filled. I mean, you bring back a sword from the first game. I mean, there's already a sword in the game, and most melee weapons kind of act the same, but it's a different flavor of melee. It looks cooler. It looks different, you know? You bring back the Liberator Mark 1. I mean, we already got the Liberator Mark 2, and it's probably better. But fuck it, why not? Let's have another Liberator to use. Let people use another version of assault rifle. Armor comes back. It could have unique perks or it cannot. But I mean, who doesn't want some new armor? I don't think there's any problem with them bringing back older stuff as long as it just feels fun to use. So yeah, I just think that they maybe when it comes to bringing back weapons, like I feel like even though what Baskinator said and other Arrowhead devs said is that they don't want to make sure that they're bringing back a weapon just to play nostalgia, and I agree with that. But to be honest, I feel like 90% of us probably don't even know what guns are back. Like I didn't even know the Commando was a old gun, to be honest. I thought that was a completely new stratagem, but I found out when I played Helldivers 1 that was in the original game. I do understand them not wanting to play into nostalgia when it comes to even like missions and everything, because apparently there was like a mission in Helldivers 1 where you could like defend a train, or you're supposed to escort like a whole train, and they've said that like, well, it would be cool to bring back that old mission. We don't want to really retread old ground, which I can easily respect and I understand. Maybe when it comes to mission objectives, you don't want to do that and you want to kind of explore newer options. It's a different war than it was back then. So maybe the same objectives from the last war won't be the same objectives you're fighting in this war. I got no idea. That may be a good excuse. What I'm just trying to say is that I don't think personally I would mind a lot of the stuff from Helldivers 1's making an appearance in Helldivers 2, just simply on the fact that it's just more Helldivers. And currently, in my opinion, when it comes to Helldivers, one of the issues that this game faces for a more casual audience and not hardcore players who are playing every day because they just love the game so much, is that once you've experienced like a few super hell dives, you've kind of experienced what the game has to offer, and unless you're very invested in either pushing the meta or unlocking everything and upgrading everything to max, you probably do not feel satisfied because there is not that many different things to do, which I completely understand. This isn't a game that is supposed to, it's not an MMO, it's not supposed to fulfill every single niche ever, but I always hear from people who criticize the game that it needs to be more evolution on the gameplay, and evolution can be either one, innovation through new, completely unique objectives or completely new ways to play the game, or simply just adding some more content. It could be old content, it could be them just bringing back the TCS, it could be them introducing the train mission from Helldivers 1 that I've never seen, it could be them introducing bosses again, it could be them adding the old guns in the game. But I don't think anyone's ever complained personally. I've never seen it, at least. I've never seen someone complain from having more Helldivers content in the game, and that's why, personally, I think it should come back, but just make sure that the old stuff is never outpacing or they're outnumbering the new stuff. That is always going to be my cardinal rule. I think, personally, even though I've never played with it, if you are... I guess for like, if you look at Destiny 2, it always bothered me that there was more Destiny 1 stuff than Destiny 2 stuff. And that's kind of how I'm feeling about Helldivers. I'm wary that if we do open the floodgates to saying, hey, bring in old content, there's no problem, we shouldn't allow that to outnumber any of the more innovative or newer, fresh ideas that you would want to add to Helldivers 2. And that's probably my entire piece on the situation. Tell me down below what you guys think. Would you want to see old Helldivers 1 stuff come back, or do you just want them to solely focus on making new stuff? I mean, hey, I'm not going to be against them adding new content to the game, and I also am not going to be against them adding just more Helldivers 2 content. So I'll see you guys next time. Good luck on the war front, and please be safe and don't drown.